I'm Cllr Neil Gulliver. I'm the Cabinet member responsible for planning and economic development on the City Council, and I'm also Chairman of the Environment Committee for Springfield Parish Council.
And is it as a member of the Parish Council?
I will speak on both issues on both sides, if I may. I'm particularly keen to be here today to support the local residents because I've seen the importance that this piece of land has had over the years for many different generations as they passed on through the area. This particular site has been acknowledged in our local development plan for public open space, and hopefully your colleague, when they sit to look at our merging plan, will continue to confirm that situation. This is particularly important because, as council for the appellant has done, you've been invited to go and have a look at Chancellor Park. I would invite you to do that particularly, and to walk away from the car parking area. As you walk across the fields there, you will be hit by the noise that comes from the adjacent A12. The traffic noise is constant. It is not an environment in which you would put any animal. How people live there sometime, how they take their leisure time is very difficult. The one piece of land that isn't cut grass or laid to astroturf is the site that we're talking about now. It's one of the few places where you can go and see the effects of what happens after it rains as wildflowers come forward. And we bring the children, and we're responsible in that area for a few hundred children's education from the schools. We take those children out onto that land, and it's special to them. It's part of their education. And for this to be lost would be detrimental to what we can achieve as governors of those schools, as local councillors representing those residents. And it's something that we can openly do now. Having been in contact with Essex County Council on occasions, stated our intents of going on there. They have no objections to that being used when we speak with them, when we speak with the education department, with the land departments. And I've also done so in the past when local residents have said about doing clearance on the site, and I've said about our intention to go on there and work on the site. It's something that is, over the past years, it's become accepted that that's public space, and that's space for all the residents to use however they wish. And that's been a good example of how the local residents have come together, and they've seen this site growing in importance, particularly as the city's grown in size. I feel sure that on occasions when you're looking at local development plans, it's very easy to get carried away with the building of houses, the building of factories and offices, and creating jobs. But there is more to the environment than that. And I think to preserve sites like this, and it's hopefully, if the right decisions come out from this, we will see Essex County Council starting to work with the City Council to release this site for the informal use that it gets made of it. I'm optimistic that in the end common sense will rule as far as this site goes, and we will see unrestricted public access, particularly helped by the County Council, who have responsibility, as we all have, to ensure that public land is used in the right way. This land is not owned by Essex County Council, it's managed by them on behalf of the residents. And I feel sure that common sense at some point will see the residents being be able to use this land in the manner that they would like to. There is much to be said for building and for why we create jobs, but this particular site isn't particularly helpful if it's get developed. I'm in contact already with a number of residential care home providers in the area. They are going on about the lack of staff that they can find that are employable in the Chelmsford area. They have to bring people from a wider area at their cost in running their businesses. So it's not a positive for Chelmsford. What it is, it's more vehicle movements in an already confined area. So I can see the advantage of why we can cut down on the number of vehicle movements, cut down on the building, and release this now for the local residents for their use. And I believe, fortunately, it was mentioned earlier by counsel for the appellant, community infrastructure levy. It's the one thing that there isn't a shortage of in Springfield. In our parish, we are seeing hundreds of houses built around us. What we've got to do is to find appropriate schemes as a parish council to spend that money on. And working with the local residents on pieces of land like this would be in a very appropriate way for us to spend some of that money. So whilst housing is seen as negative, there are also funds which the local community can access which can help them to fulfil some of their aspirations. And I'm very hopeful that, again, with those sort of funds behind then, they will be able to do that.